A tree of that size reduces the value of my home by 5 to 10%.
Okay.
Actually, it would increase it.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. We're finished. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
That's the ketchup that was actually on the ceiling, just jumping around, squirting ketchup everywhere.
You were arrested.
That's what it says?
Yes, that's what it says.
Judge Judy.
$2,500 is not going to buy anything.
I went far beyond to compensate and please them.
I could not believe my eyes. I was so mad.
I've never had anybody try to get a free landscaping off of a person that's trying to help them out.
Don't hire a coca tree service.
Unfortunately for them, it didn't work out. Fortunately for me, it did.
This is NBC Palm Springs.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Daytona Everett. Thousands of people across the country all taking part in Juneteenth events. It's been since 155 years since Union soldiers landed in Texas with news that the enslaved were now free. June 19th, 1865, over 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation became official. Meanwhile, 8 states are seeing new highs in coronavirus cases, including Oklahoma, where supporters of the president are arriving in waves 1 day ahead of his rally in Tulsa tomorrow. More on that in a moment, but first, today's annual Juneteenth events celebrating the end of slavery are taking on a special meaning with marches and rallies across the country. Alice Barr reports.
In a time of racial reckoning in America, Juneteenth is taking on powerful new meaning, driving demonstrators into the streets in cities from coast to coast, including here in the nation's capital.
I always fantasize on Juneteenth being looked at like July 4th, Independence Day, for the people it means independence for. And it seems like it has actually come to pass this year.
The annual holiday celebrates the day the last slaves in this country learned they were free, 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. That justice delayed, echoing so much of what protesters are still fighting against today.
And right now, many of us feel like we're still not free. And it's justice denied and justice delayed.
The deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Rayshard Brooks at the hands of police have roiled the nation, with the past 3 weeks of demonstrations demanding a hard look at the past 400 years of black life in America.
We've hid from the truth of our history of racial inequality. Our students don't learn about lynching, and so that truth-telling has to begin.
As advocates renew a push to name Juneteenth a federal holiday, President Trump issued his yearly proclamation honoring the day. Just yesterday, he claimed nobody had ever heard of it, and that he made Juneteenth famous when he set this day for a campaign rally, a plan changed because of a fierce outcry.
No justice! No peace!
Demonstrators now calling on all Americans to use this day to face the past so we can understand the present and chart a more just future. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Here in the Coachella Valley, the community is coming together to celebrate the abolishment of slavery by hosting a Juneteenth barbecue. Our Nico Payne is at Desert Highland Park in Palm Springs, where the event is in full swing. Hey, Nico, how's it going?
Yes, you can see behind me that there is a lot of great fun and food going on, including music, and people can also enjoy camel rides along with many other activities for the family. Earlier, I spoke to the founder of Young Justice Advocates who helped organize today's celebration. As celebrations across the nation mark Juneteenth, some are learning what this day means and how it commemorates the end of slavery in the United States. Here in Coachella Valley, the Young Justice Advocates, a group that saw over 1,000 people at their first event, have partnered with the community of Palm Springs to host a barbecue celebration.
Today, we're expecting probably in the hundreds. It's supposed to be a big community, big family picnic feel to it. We partnered up with Theo Morell and Brian Jackson to, just make this whole thing happen.
And starting with this community commemoration, Talon hopes people recognize what today is supposed to be about.
Bring awareness to our community and celebrate such an inspirational holiday in our nation that I think should be celebrated nationwide with holiday pay leave. So I'm just happy that we're just starting to do more more things to bring awareness.
And back out here live, we are here with Brian Jackson. Why don't you take a step in over here, Brian? And what is the message that you want to send out to the community today and creating and organizing this event?
We just want to stick to what James L. Jesse taught us, man, here in our community is all unity, coming together with our kids, family, and just having a good time celebrating. Happy Juneteenth.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And again, this event will be lasting till 7 p.m. tonight. Reporting live from Palm Springs, I'm Nico Payne. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right. Thank you, Nico. Great information right there. A local man is in the process of building a mobile museum to bring excluded American history to students across the country. An important lesson at a critical time. Our Kitty Alvarado has that story.
Chauncey Spencer has a dream.
Inside the trailer here, it's going to be set up with a panoramic history story.
To transform this trailer into a mobile museum that brings a forgotten history to the masses.
It's a piece of American history that's been left out of America.
This history is personal. His father, Chauncey Spencer Sr., was an aviation pioneer. What he was told when he tried to learn to fly drove him to greater heights.
He said, "We don't teach color to fly. They don't have the intelligence." So that hurt my father, but it didn't break him.
Despite the odds, he found a way to learn to fly and pay it forward. During a cross-country flight to encourage black colleges to promote aviation, he had a chance encounter with future President Harry Truman, who was amazed by their talent and courage to fly an old plane. Spencer offered then-Senator Truman a ride.
And Truman said, "No, you can't take me for a flight, but if you got guts enough to fly this thing I'm looking at, I got guts enough to find out why you can't become part of the United States Army Air Corps." It was that step to encourage Franklin Roosevelt to include the Negro in the Civil Pilot Training Program, which is the precursor to what we call the Tuskegee Airmen.
Soon, he will make his own cross-country trip, making stops along the way to teach the history of the Tuskegee Airmen, a group of African-American pilots that fought in World War II.
Chauncey Spencer Sr. broke the barriers of racism, allowing individuals like the Tuskegee Airmen to take flight.
His destination will be the March on Washington on August 28th. That will coincide with the original Civil Rights March.
I have a dream.
He hopes his dream of integrating Black history with American history will create change.
Because American history is no color. It's an invisible history of individuals that have sacrificed for the rights that we have today.
In Palm Desert, Kitty Alvarado, NBC Palm Springs.
All right, let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett for a look at your AccuWeather forecast. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Daytona. We've got a weekend right around the corner, and this one's a very unique one because it's got a couple things going on. The first day of summer is now less than 24 hours away. 2:44 on Saturday locally will be the moment that we switch over into the summer solstice there. Got lots of information coming up in the full forecast about that. What you will notice this weekend is it will feel summery out there. We have been blessed all week long with some of that flow coming in from the northwest that has kept temperatures slightly below average and has kept a good deal of moisture in the atmosphere. Even though we're in a desert and it's been warm out there, we've had humidity riding in about that 10, 15, and even 20% range through most of the week here. That will change as we go into the weekend, tracking some high pressure that will build across the area here and bring some of that flow back offshore. Great news if you are planning on heading out to the coast, because what that will do is take those marine layer clouds that have been sitting right at the mouth of the Banning Pass all week long, push them back offshore there, and make for a gorgeous weekend across the entire Southwest. Taking a look out right now, temperatures are slightly above average. We normally run about 102, 103 this time of year. Winds have been fairly consistent throughout most of the day today. I've been watching a lot of palm trees blowing, and there's a lot of dust in the atmosphere today. Coming in sustained about 15 to 20 miles an hour at the airport. That will continue through the rest of the evening, and then once the sun gets a chance to set, which it's doing very late these days, we will see that start to settle a bit. And this is what I'm talking about. Humidity sitting at 17%, despite the fact that it's over 100 degrees out there, is really, really nice. That's going to change, though. Next 3 days brought to you by Comfort Air. Look at this. We warm going into the weekend. First day of summer, 107. Father's Day, 108. And it gets even warmer from there. I'll tell you the whole story coming up.
More businesses reopening across the country despite cases rapidly rising in several states. Florida once again setting its single-day high in new cases as the U.S. death toll approaches 119,000 and counting. Let's take a look at our local COVID-19 numbers. 311 new cases were reported countywide. Remember, yesterday the county recorded its highest number of new cases in a single day as well. 109 of the new cases today are from the Coachella Valley. 2 new deaths were also reported in the county, none of them from the Coachella Valley. Indio continues to have the most cases in the valley with 929. Palm Desert has the most deaths with 29. Well, keep your face mask close by. Governor Gavin Newsom issued an order yesterday saying they are required. It is enforceable and carries a misdemeanor charge and possible fine. Exactly who will enforce it is unclear as of right now. Last month, Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco said he would not enforce mask requirements.
So for him to say everybody's going to get arrested with no mask or if you go outside, it's really up to me if that happens, not up to him.
State agencies such as OSHA could take action if necessary. Tattoo parlors, nail salons, and massage spas can reopen for business today. It's all part of Riverside County's accelerated Phase 2. Tattoo business owner Anthony Bernardi says after being closed 3 months, he says his team is ready to get back to work and that they were booked up weeks in advance.
Essentially, it doesn't change a lot for us because it's such a sterile industry to begin with. A lot of the things that will change, as far as the guidelines go, are we're not going to have any guests with you. It's going to be just the client only.
Masks and social distancing will be required inside those businesses. And coming up at 6:30 as we continue our coverage on coronavirus in the Coachella Valley, Facts Not Fear. That's tonight at 6:30. Still to come, we take a trip to Tulsa to see how Oklahoma is preparing for the president amid a pandemic. Plus, another family is grieving and pleading for justice tonight after a deputy-involved shooting in Gardena leaves an 18-year-old dead. We'll have details coming up. And are you ready to take your kids back to camp or daycare? Well, if you aren't, you're not alone. A new survey shows just how many parents are uneasy with that idea. And did the coronavirus change your plans for Dad's Day? We'll look how many people are preparing instead later in the show.
When we welcome our West Coast viewers, we'll have more on that grim statement from the World Health Organization today about the dangerous new phase we've reached in the pandemic. Also, from dining out to haircuts, disease experts reveal the activities they would and wouldn't do right now when we see you back here tonight.
We've always put safety first. And we always will. For people. For the future. And there has never been a summer when it's mattered more. Wherever you go, summer safely. Get 0% APR financing for up to 5 years on select models and exclusive lease offers.
We're living in uncertain times, but as Californians, we'll get through this together. If your income has been reduced or you've lost your job or your health insurance due to the coronavirus crisis, Covered California is here. We can help you find the health insurance you need to protect you and your loved ones. And you may even get financial help to pay for your health insurance. So if you or someone you know is without coverage, visit coveredca.com to learn more or enroll today.
Are you ready for the history test? Only time will tell. Like when you go solar, time will tell if you use the right company. It was important to my dad who just hired Hot Purple Energy. The companies he talked to just a few years ago aren't even around anymore. My dad has been a contractor for over 25 years. He is old. Don't tell him that, but that's what makes Hot Purple Energy different than any other local solar company. Think solar. Think purple. Hot Purple Energy.
At La Quinta Chevrolet, your well-being is our top priority. In this time of social distancing, you can do the entire car buying process online, and we'll even deliver the vehicle to your home and office. Right now, get more with zero. Drive with zero first month payment, zero security deposit, and zero money down. Like a new Chevy Equinox, lease for only $279 per month. To learn more, visit our dealership at LaQuintaChevrolet.com today. Find new roads.
Can you believe this weather? Let's check in with Paul from Comfort Air to tell us how we can deal with this heat and stay comfortable.
Thanks, Carol. And your 7-day forecast, hot, hot, and hot. So you'll want to stay cool with the new Lennox XC25. Quiet, efficient, and affordable. We have the best prices and warranties in the Coachella Valley. I personally guarantee it. You'll never have to worry about your family's comfort again. Back to you, Carol.
Call Comfort Air today and see why they're #1 for a reason.
Back up! You've been told more percent!
A tense face-off between sheriffs and the family of a young man shot and killed by deputies in Gardena. Family members identify the man killed in the deadly deputy-involved shooting as 18-year-old Andres Guardado. They say he was working as a security guard in the area, but authorities say they spotted Guardado, who flashed a gun and took off running. The deputies chased and opened fire, leaving the family now asking what prompted them to use lethal force.
We want justice, you know. We want to know what happened, why they shoot 7 times from the back. What is the reason a kid of 18 years old with a big future?
The sheriff's department says Guardado was not wearing a uniform and did find a handgun on the scene. They say only one deputy fired his weapon, though it's unknown how many shots were fired. The Louisville Police Department is terminating one of the 3 officers involved in the shooting death of Breonna Taylor. Officer Brett Hankinson is accused of blindly firing 10 shots into Taylor's apartment as she slept on March 13th. Taylor, who was an emergency medical technisian, was killed after officers forced their way inside her home and exchanged shots with her boyfriend. The other 2 officers have been placed on administrative reassignment. The crowds continue to grow for President Trump's rescheduled rally in Tulsa tomorrow. Hundreds are waiting in line to hear the president speak at Tulsa's BOK Center. The 19,000-seat venue is expected to be packed full of supporters. Hand sanitizer and masks will be provided but are not required, raising concerns among health experts about the possible spread of coronavirus.
This will be my 36th rally in 19 different states.
We're here for one thing, and that's to support our president, and people are trying to stop us from doing that.
If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't.
In an effort to subdue possible protests outside the center, the mayor has declared a civil emergency and curfew during the rally. The president himself is warning protesters to stay away from his re-election rally in Tulsa tomorrow. He tweeted, "Please understand, you will not be treated like you have been in New York, Seattle, or Minneapolis," claiming it will be, quote, be a much different scene, end quote. The rally was pushed forward a day so it would not be a conflict with Juneteenth. The selection of Tulsa itself is also controversial as it's the site of some of the worst racist violence in American history, the Tulsa Massacre of 1921. For the 3rd time in a month, Twitter has taken action against the president. Last night, the social networking site labeled a video the president retweeted as, quote, manipulated media. The version President Trump shared shows a fake CNN banner and only airs a portion of the original video, which went viral in 2019 and shows 2 kids running towards each other and hugging. One of the highest-ranking black women working for the president resigned over his response to Black Lives Matter protests. Mary Elizabeth Taylor says President Trump's words and actions cut sharply against her core values and convictions. Taylor has served as Assistant Secretary of State for Legislative Affairs in the Trump administration since 2018. There's been no comment from the White House. Former White House National Security Advisor John Bolton is asking a federal court to dismiss the Justice Department's lawsuit over the release of his new book titled The Room Where It Happened. In the motion, which was filed last night, Bolton's lawyers called the lawsuit a, quote, political effort. On Wednesday, the Trump administration filed an emergency restraining order which would prevent the book from being published. All right, more news to come after the break, but first, Mike.
Daytona, it's almost as if Mother Nature owns a calendar. We have been very spring-like this week, but we're about to switch over and come downright summery. Details in your full forecast when we come back.
You ready to start the day, Thalia?
You bet.
We got a lot to cover.
And I have something I want to tell you about in your health today.
Hey, it looks as though we have some changes in the weather coming up real soon.
Grab your popcorn. We're talking movies.
NBC Palm Springs today, 5 to 7 a.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. This summer, we'll be traveling in a cabin where every seat is premium and all baggage flies free. So fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the panoramic views. Nissan is offering non-stop routes to summer.
And now is the best time to get into a new Nissan. With no payments for 3 months. Plus, we'll cover your payments for up to 2 more months. Or get 0% financing for up to 84 months.
At Del Taco, you get 15 items for $1 or less every day on the Del's Dollar Deals menu. 15 ways to crave, 15 ways to save, 15 ways to... Try Del's Dollar Deals menu with 15 different items for $1 or less every day. Only at Del Taco.
When America needed us to build, we built. Masks, ventilators, shields.
When frontliners needed support, Ford dealers answered. And now we're open and ready to serve you with special offers like 0% financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Stop by a Ford dealership or go online. We've made it safer to shop, easier to buy. Now get 0% financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Contact your Ford dealer or stop by today.
I'm Dr. Ann Nicholas. If you're unhappy with your smile, have missing or failing teeth, or dentures that move around, our team of specialists offers a one-stop center for cosmetic and implant dentistry. Using the latest technology, we can give you the smile you've always wanted.
Dr. Nicholas is amazing. She and her team gave me the confidence with my new implants, and it's the best decision I have ever made.
Call 760-851-0779 now for a free consultation. It's easy and painless.
On a cloudy day, you say what can make me feel this way, my girl.
Room for 7 and much, much more. The first ever GLB. Get 0% APR financing up to 36 months on most models and 90-day first payment deferral on any model.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Desert Vein and Vascular Institute.
Welcome back. Starting you off with a gorgeous live look courtesy of our Agua Caliente Casino Cam. If you have become accustomed to seeing some of this moisture in the atmosphere this week, well, it is about to leave. We are tracking some changes this weekend. It's going to take that onshore flow. Hey, you see that? We got an insect on the bug. Now, that's really cool. This is looking off towards the south and east portion of the valley there. We've got some wind blowing. It's putting the palm trees around a little bit, and there is that moisture in the atmosphere. The big story is this, though. Summer begins less than 24 hours from now. Locally, 2:44 p.m. on Saturday. So if you love summer, well, it's just less than 24 hours away. Some easy science about that. You know, during the spring and the fall, we have what's called the equinox. It's a very simple way of saying that the days are exactly the same length, 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. When we get into the summer solstice, we get some long days. Tomorrow we will have more than 14 hours of daylight. Last weekend, I went out to play 9 holes of golf. I got on the course at around 7 o'clock, and I was able to get 9 holes in before it was dark. That's one of the great things about this time of year. Taking a look at the change of seasons, there's the equinox in both September and March. One of the funny things about it is because of the elliptical nature of our trip around the sun, we're actually further away from the sun in the summertime than we are in the winter. It's that tilt. You know, we're 23.5 degrees tilted. Well, we're tilting towards the sun in the summertime, away from it in the wintertime. And that's why, even though we are technically further away, we're still warmer. We're leaning into it. Taking a look at the big picture right now, there's a lot going on. You can see that high pressure already kind of starting to build across the southwest, sending storms up towards our north and northwest there. Meanwhile, we are tracking a line of strong thunderstorms that's triggering some watches and warnings over top of Kansas and Oklahoma tonight. That will continue to walk into Missouri and Arkansas tonight. We'll keep a close eye on that. If anything breaks out, we'll give you some updates tonight at 11. As far as watches and warnings go, easy stuff there. We still have some red flag warnings in the southwestern portion of Colorado, and then there's your severe weather that's breaking out across Colorado and into parts of Texas tonight as well. We've got some gusty winds up and down the coast. That is prompting some gale warnings, but if you are planning to head to the beach this weekend, it's going to be so good. Here's why. Jetstream takes a big vacation. It heads well north, and that's going to allow that high pressure to build across the region. It warms us up, it dries us out, but it will also take some of that marine layer cloud cover and push it off towards the west. So here's what you can expect on Saturday. Temperatures will bump up slightly. Remember, average for this time of year is about 103, so we'll be about 4, 5, 6 degrees above average. We'll get that flow from the south in the morning. That'll switch around to the north and northwest in the evening. There we go. Here's what's normal for this time of year. 103. We were 2 degrees above that today. 72 in the overnights had us exactly where our 30-year average is. And then there's your records for today's date, 119 and 53. Taking a look across the region right now, let's see who's the warmest. 106 in Havasu. Yowza. It'll be a great weekend out there as well. 101's in Phoenix and Yuma. We're riding at 102. That's 30 degrees warmer than it is currently in Oceanside, but still, it's gorgeous there right now. 102 in Thousand Palms, 104 Coachella, 88 in the Yucca Valley. Slow cooling tonight, but starts off fairly pleasant on Saturday. Gets up into the 107 range in Palm Springs and Thousand Palms, 108 in Palm Desert and Indio. And your Comfort Air 7-day forecast shows Father's Day being a warm one as well, and it stays warm. Look at that. We hit 110 Tuesday and Wednesday, but back it off slightly next weekend.
What's up, everyone? everyone, I'm Taylor, and this week on Weekly Rundown, we are honoring the class of 2020, and who better to do that with than the graduates themselves. Tune in this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. only on NBC Palm Springs.
Here's what we want everyone to do. Count all the hugs you haven't given, all the hands you haven't held, all the dinners you didn't share with friends, the trips you haven't taken. Keep track of them. Each one means one less person vulnerable, one less person exposed, and one step closer to a healthier community. So for now, keep your distance, but don't lose count. We'll have some catching up to do.
You want a great-looking car?
We say yes!
You want great reliability?
I purchased several cars from I-10 Toyota. Every single one of them is in a simple sales transaction.
You want great service?
We say yes!
You want a great deal?
At I-10 Toyota, we did get a great price on the vehicle we wanted.
And you want it fast?
We say yes!
And you will too. Lease a brand new 2020 Toyota CHR for only $189 per month. Say yes to Express and get our best deal ever fast.
This is where we live. This is where we work, raise our families, grow our food, build our lives. Lately, our way of life has changed, but one thing has stayed the same. Our community has been there to support us and keep us strong, supporting local businesses, educating ourselves on what's really going on, and lending a helping hand. With the strength of our community, the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce is here for you.
At the offices of Dr. Roland Reinhardt, your pain is treated like an emergency.
I came to Dr. Reinhardt with very bad sciatica pain and pain in my neck. And after my first treatment, I was pain-free.
I saw Dr. Reinhardt because of the pain in my neck. He treated it as an emergency, and now I feel wonderful.
Call Dr. Reinhardt at 760-341-2360 to live a pain-free life.
We're revving up our engines and shifting from park to drive. Hi folks, Cher Lichtman here, Mike Thompson RV. We are here and now open, ready to restart your adventure.
This portion of the news is brought to you by La Quinta Brewery. Taste the sunshine.
The pandemic has caused disruptions on many fronts, and childcare is no exception. According to a new Care.com survey, 63% of families are uncomfortable placing their children in daycare, and only 7% of parents surveyed feel it's safe to return to a normal routine. We'll be right back after the break.
Dateline tonight. Two brothers convicted of separate crimes. Both claim their innocence. It's time for the truth to come out.
So people know that it truly exists.
Dateline tonight, 10/9 Central.
Special guest Eric Stonestreet drops by AGT for a head-turning, high-flying surprise.
My jaw was on this table.
Got Talent, Tuesday on NBC.
Kids and plants are a lot alike. They both grow well with regular, scheduled care. For plants, that's giving them the support they need. For kids, that's following their vaccine calendar for the first 2 years. When you get your kids their vaccines on time, you give them the support they need to grow strong and grow well. IEHP, helping you reach your destination health.
At Mathis Brothers, we make it easy for you to shelter in style with our large, in-stock selection of home essentials at everyday low prices. Nobody sells for less. We make it easy to get the furniture you need right away with 12-month 0% interest financing on everything in the store. Come see us. We're open every day from 11 to 7. Give us a call or just shop online 24/7. It's easy to shelter in style with your furniture leader, Mathis Brothers.
This is where my mind opens, where I prepare for life. This great circle. Questioning, discovering, creating. At this table, we learn to lead, to nurture, to sow and reap. We search the past, celebrate the present, build the future.
Palm Valley Education. Personal and profound.
In this time of social distancing, when taking a break from everyday life is critical to everyone's health, there is one thing we can all do together. Complete the 2020 census. Your responses are critical to plan for the next 10 years of healthcare, infrastructure, and education. Let's make a difference together by taking a few minutes to go online to 2020census.gov. It's for the well-being of your community and will help shape America's future.
This segment is brought to you by the Sevens. That's the Walter Clark Legal Group, where we know if it wasn't your fault, you deserve the best medical care and legal help. Get the no-fee guarantee. Call the Sevens.
If you don't know, Father's Day is this Sunday, and the National Retail Federation is forecasting an uptick in spending on dad this year. An anticipated $17 billion will be spent this year, and we're spending it on different things thanks to coronavirus. A survey of more than 8,000 Americans found special outings top the list, followed by clothing and gift cards. Mike, what are you forecasting?
Well, I spent a good portion of that $17 billion myself because I just couldn't find the right thing for my dad. So every time I found something, I'd send it to him. So he's got about 5 packages arriving tomorrow.
You are the best. You are the best. We'll see you at 6.
Tonight, the stark new coronavirus warning that